Hey everyone, Ruben here, Qotd PDX. This here is going to be question of the day number 25. We got asked this question the other day, and I thought it'd be a good one to have a question of the day because this might be something that other people experience, and I'd like to have it around. So I'm going to read the question off and then we'll get to answering it. All right, so here it goes. How does one resolve leash reactivity? Is there a way to resolve it? Just had an incident in a coffee shop where both dogs were on leash. The other dog approached calmly and friendly, and all looked to be going well when they met until all of a sudden, my dog tried to go after the other dog. Fortunately, she couldn't, as she was tied to a table, but it scared the bejesus out of the dog, its owner, and me. I thought all was going well, but unfortunately, no. And then they add, like say you were in the same exact situation where both dogs had to be on leash. Should I have said that? My dog's not great with other dogs on leash and left it at that. All right, so this is a good question, and I think it dives more into not just the leash reactivity, but like what coffee shop etiquette is, dog to dog stuff. So, all right, so part of this, it seems okay. The other dog approached calmly and friendly, and all looked to be going well when they met. So it sounds like you had an on-leash meeting. We should never do that because it's the quickest way to things like this happening. Your dog can't move freely, and it sounds like, you add in here, my dog's not great with other dogs on leash. So it sounds like your dog is okay off leash. So that right there is your cue. On leash meetings are never a good idea. Avoid them at all costs. Okay. This is assuming that these are strange dogs as well. Okay. So no on leash meetings, period. As far as coffee shop etiquette, I think this reaches into that too. Your dog should be in a downstay at your side, behind your legs. For me, I like to position myself not in the very middle of a coffee shop. I would like to be on the periphery of it because I want to have an out if I need to. There was this one time I went to a outdoor restaurant with one of my dogs, and she was a little French bulldog, and at this time, the people that we were meeting were in the back of this restaurant, and it was in the outdoor spot, so everyone had a bunch of dogs out there, and there was dogs on leash just in the main alley, in the main aisleway. There was a couple dogs who got into a little scuffle from opposing tables. I got jumped on by two huge Saint Bernards as I'm entering into this establishment. And I thought to myself, this is a shit show. This is a dog park, but in a restaurant. And the people we were meeting, again, were in the very back of the place. And for the very first time, my dog was 7 years old at this time, I had actually was I'm gonna have to pick her up and walk her through this because I was not about to just walk her through this gauntlet of out of control dogs. We ended up finding a table closer into us, and I sat on the inside next to the wall, and I had the dog in a downstay underneath the table. She didn't make a peep the entire time, and there was a bunch of chaos going on in the rest of the restaurant. Now, with that being said, she was a dog who could handle that, but in hindsight, I didn't realize it was going to be like that, so I kind of had to just tough it out. But if that's what the vibe of the place was like and I knew that, I wouldn't have taken her in the first place, because I don't feel I need to subject my dog to that just because that place accepts dogs and I know she could do well in it. It doesn't mean I have to do it. Okay. So if you're going to take your dog to the cafe, and if they're doing fine before, I would just be positioning yourself not where everyone's going to be walking through, because I see it all the time. People just like, you know, they don't move aside. I mean, they just like, they'll walk through with their pulling dog on a leash, and you know, that's just, again, that's the quickest way to something bad happening. And like, you know, when your dog experiences these types of things in your care, they're slowly losing trust in you as their advocate. Okay, so by positioning yourself in the peripheral zone, I guess, you know, having them in a downstay, behind your legs, at your feet, you know, like that's where they should be, resting calmly as you're doing your thing. And you also want to be addressing any, you know, hard staring or anything like that, you know, via correction. So let's see, I think that covers the outdoor cafe etiquette of it all. Okay, peripheral zone, at your feet or behind you in a downstay, correcting any hard staring, advocating for your dog, and also that ties into, you know, should you have said that your dog's not great with other dogs on leash? Yeah, absolutely. You know, I say it all the time, even if my dogs don't bite, I tell them they bite, and no, they can't pet them, you know, and no, my dogs can't meet your dogs on leash or anything like that. It's just, that's not good. That's just not good dog behavior. Okay. So yeah, just not great with other dogs on a leash. Leave it at that. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, and I think that I think that covers it. You know, maybe working on impulse control issues. You know, because going after the dog is a lack of impulse control, you know, so getting some other training on board, you know, what does the dog's whole day look like? Is there lots of affection? Is there lots of free roaming? Is there tons of structure? You know, these are all things that are going to help us with the leash reactivity. So, okay, yeah, I guess this ties into how does one resolve leash reactivity? Is there a way to resolve it? Yes. So you resolve leash reactivity through tons of structure, less affection. It's just the way it is. You need to establish a relationship where your dog defers to you. Now, you can balance those things out eventually, but you know, if you're getting leash reactivity, things like that, we really want to hold back on affection and do tons and tons of structure. Okay, and once you start seeing the behavior that you want to see out of your dog, then you can start bringing these privileges back in. Okay, having good tools on board. So you know, typically we are Hermsprenger prong collar and e-collar for correcting any hard staring or anything like that. The leash and prong is mostly used for directional guidance. You know, if I'm going right, if I'm going left, if I need you to stop, those kinds of things. I can also talk to the dog, sit down, you know, move them around, but we use the remote collar primarily for don't worry about that. If you're walking, the dog starts looking over, don't worry about that. Okay, you want to be catching the fuse before the explosion. Okay, so having good tools on board is going to help, you know, if there's any kind of reactivity on the walk per se. If the reactivity is only relegated to on-leash meetings, stop the on-leash meetings. Okay, if your dog's walking great on the leash, perfect, just stop on-leash meetings, and it sounds like this will be resolved. And you know, again, it's like if your dog has experienced this before, you know, you might want to just stop all that other stuff and work on rebuilding your relationship. Okay, because like I said before, anytime your dog gets into some sort of predicament in your care, like if they were at the dog park and they got into a fight at the dog park, like the fact that you were there, you took your dog there, you allowed this to happen, they are going to not see you as someone who can protect them. So they're going to be more proactive in protecting themselves. So that's when you might start seeing more leash reactivity, more aggression towards dogs. Who knows, even towards people, right? So remember, you want to be proactive and not reactive. So when you're out with your dog, it's you and your dog. Other people, other dogs, they just need to like stay away. You know, that's your time with your dog. That's you two doing stuff together, okay? And yeah, you know, so then it's just like a rinse and repeat kind of thing. You just do it day in and day out. And that's how the leash reactivity gets resolved. You know, my dog also used to be highly leash reactive towards both people and dogs and basically anything else on the street. And, you know, while it took work, we have gotten very far on it to where, you know, and I think I've said this before, 7 years ago when we first, 8 years ago when we first got him, I never thought I could like let alone walk him down a street like Division before, you know. It just, back then I did not think that would have been possible. So takes work, takes good tools, gets training, consequences, you know, lots of structure, less affection. Those are all things that work towards resolving leash reactivity. All right, so I hope this helps. Looks like we've gone over our time, so this might be a YouTube video because IGTV only allows for 10 minutes. Or I guess I could probably split them up into a couple of clips. All right, so as always, if you guys find this helpful, please share it so that other people can benefit from it. And also, if you find value in this, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those are all really great ways to support us and, you know, get the information out there for folks. All right, so anyways, I hope you all enjoy the day, and we will talk to you later. Bye.